I'm Ralph Tyrrell.
And Ralph, you've kindly invited me to your home without being totally rude. How old are you now, sir?
Well, God willing, I should be 95 in April.
How do you do it? There was once in a time in your life when lives were counted in weeks and days, weren't they?
Very much so. But that was wartime. Like so many other young men and women, we decided to join the forces to do our little bit, and fortunately for myself, the man upstairs looked after me, and when I finished my elementary flying training school at RF Carlisle, I had made friends with a local vicar who happened to be a Pentecostal preacher at Chelmsford before the war, and so I renewed acquaintances with him, and when I come to say goodbye to him, he gave me a New Testament and marked in RF blue and got the RF crest on it, and he said, Ralph, he says, take this with you. He said, you'll find sometimes there'll be words of comfort for you when you're feeling despaired or distressed or frightened. And that New Testament has the same number of flying hours that I have in my logbook. And when everywhere I went in the Royal Air Force, across to Canada, Middle East, the Far East, and so it's got a story to tell if it could tell it. But all I can say is I believe that by having the New Testament in my battle dress pocket, that saved my life. And I often say that to people who, when they say, well, how did you manage to survive? I said, well, God was with me. This New Testament flew every time I flew, and everywhere I went in the Royal Air Force. That accompanied me. That is it.
And who gave it to you?
Reverend John Woodhead.
How did you meet?
Well, he was pastor of the Earlham Pentecost Church at Chelmsford before the war, and so he knew my parents. So when I had to start flying at Royal Air Force Carlisle on an elementary flying training school, my mother said, call to see him because he's pastor at the Earlham Pentecostal Church in Carlisle, and we made contact, and that was in 29th of November 1942.
And did you make the decision, or was it a wartime one that all aircrew were given?
No.
It was a personal gift.
It was a personal gift, yeah.
And you just thought, I think I'll put that in my top pocket.
I would, and that was with me wherever I went.
How many tours has that done?
Well, just the one tour of operations, which was 30 operations.
30 ops?
30 ops was a tour, yeah.
And you came back without a scratch and all the crew safe and sound?
And quite a few little places are marked in ink where I've read them.
Could you read one of them?
Do not give up in doing what is fine. Let us not give up in doing what is fine, for in due season we shall reap if we do not tire out. And that's Galatians chapter 6, verse 9.
And is that a recent cutting, or is that something during the war that you found?
Something that I've cut out. That's
good quote.
Years old. Years old.
Have you got some writing in there? What's that?
Oh, it's a little verse, I think.
Go on.
Call and the Lord will answer, even before you say. He will have made provision. he'll be drawing nigh. Mighty things he will show you, blessings unknown, unsought, always beyond, exceeding all that you asked or thought. And that was in the 27th of January 1944.
Where would you have been then? In Canada?
No, I was in Canada in 1944. Yes, it could be, yes. Yes, I probably was in Canada. Yeah.
But you never ever thought you'd be in Canada one day?
No, indeed not.
Is that where you went to train?
Yes.
Because it was safe?
Safe, yes. And they've got no blackout, no food ration, no nothing like that. There's one here. Wherefore he's able also to save them to the uttermost, that coming unto God by him, seeing he ever liveth to make intercessions for them. So I've gone through this New Testament quite a bit over the years. That's when we went to Dapsford.
Oh, yeah. Not what with me?
I'm sure.
Let's have a look. Yeah. See that? A moment's contemplation by the rear guns for Ralph Tyrrell. Lancaster at Dunford earlier this week was the first time I'd actually laid down in the bomb aimer's turret since the war ended. It made me wonder how on earth I ever flew on raids. But that was a long time ago. I'd like you to read that, Ralph. Could you read that? Because it's written by you.
Lancaster at Duxford this week was the first time I had actually laid down in the bomb aimer's turret since the war ended. It made me wonder how on earth I ever flew on raids, but that was a long time ago when I was much, much younger. Dresden is, to us at the time, was yet another target. He was ordered to help the Russian advance from the east. They wanted us to carry out this because they had suffered 15 million dead at Stalingrad.
Incredible. This looks like your logbook.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to show you. There, it's Dresden. And the total flying time was 9 hours, 55 minutes.
Did you think it would become so famous, infamous?
No, never thought that. I mean, to us, it was just another target laid down by Bomber Harry. And there's all the stations I was at.
How good was a Lanc?
Marvellous plane. Marvellous
Could it
plane.
take a pasting?
Could take.
Could
a
you
bit
come
of
home on a
pasting.
wing and a prayer?
Well, no. Once or twice we thought we weren't going to make it, but as I said before, the man upstairs looked after me.
One of our planes planes was missing, 2 hours overdue. One of our planes was missing with all its gallant crew. The radio sets were humming, they waited for the word. Then a voice broke through the humming, and this is what they heard. Coming in on a wing and a prayer. Coming in on a wing and a prayer. Though there's one motor gone, we can still carry on. Coming in on a wing and a prayer. What a show, what a fight. Yes, we really hit our target for tonight. How we sing as we limp through the air. Look below, there's our field over there. With our full crew aboard and our trust in the Lord, we're coming in on a wing and a prayer. Sing as we limp through the air. Look below, there's our field over there. With our full crew aboard and our trust in the Lord, we're coming in